The U.S. Women's National Team June camp roster was just released and included some new names as well as some less familiar names. There's Lily Yohannes, the Ajax prospect with incredible technical ability. Sam Staab, a defender with so much to offer on the attack. And then there's Hal Hershfelt, whose U.S. Women's National Team call-up is so historic that nothing like it has happened in the last 10 years. Welcome back to Busy Watching Women's Soccer. I'm Bridie, and today I got a mini film study for you on Lily Yohannes, Hal Hershfelt, and Sam Staab. So let's get into it. Let's start off with Lily Yohannes. She was invited to the She Believes Cup roster but did not play in that tournament. First thing I want to look at for her is footwork because it is absolutely phenomenal. Very technical player there, number 20. Such easy touches between the left and the right foot. Great service in. She's just really comfortable on the ball, taking audacious touches like that. Really close control on her feet. The ball looks like it's glued to her. And then in midfield, she just has a lot of turns, really good two-touch game. She looks so confident. And here she is at Champions League, still just doing her thing. Doesn't bother her, but she's playing against Chelsea at all. So for a 16-year-old, absolutely incredible touch. Ajax is one of the premier academies on the men's side, and I'm sure that translates to the women's side of the game where she's getting some excellent technical coaching. The other way Johannes shows off her technical ability is in service. She just is able to play the most beautiful balls. This one is just a back pass to maintain possession, but how often do you see that kind of ball? Accurate, safe, great ball. This one, pick up in midfield, turn. It's that same control that we saw earlier, but now the absolute beauty of a ball. It's insane how good that ball is. The thing that really gets me is the rotation of the ball, the spin on it. It makes it so easy when it drops for her teammate. Right there, instead of bouncing a bunch forward because of that spin, it kind of sits down, lets you get onto it. Really, really fantastic service. And she's good with through balls too. Just great vision. That one looked really easy. That's an absolute beauty. This is just going to drop. Look at the spin on that. Absolute perfection. Does not get better than that. So she has some incredible service. For a 16-year-old, I truly have never seen anything like it. The other thing that got me excited about Johannes is I think she has a lot of potential to be a great attacking option inside the box. I did mention she's only 16, but she's already 5'8" and a nice solid 5'8", so it might get even more height out of her. That is just fantastic technique on that header. She has so much control when she gets up there. But I don't want to act like she has this super dialed in. I only found one goal. There's certainly more misses. But the thing for me is that I think she's played a lot of small-sided games, a lot of indoor games, so I really think this is probably the first time in her career that she's even been able to get on the end of these kind of balls. The games I watched, I didn't watch a ton, but there was improvement over time, so that was really excellent to see. This one was pretty recent, and there's a little bit of frustration there, right? She's a young player, but there's obviously room for growth here, and I think fantastic potential. You might be watching this now thinking, wow, what a talent Lily Yohannes is, but of course I have cherry-picked film here. She is still incredibly, incredibly raw, and I think you can see this the most in the Champions League games where the speed of play picks up from her regular league play, and she just adjusts by being physical in a way that's unnecessary and uncontrolled. So here she is at the Dutch league. She's playing against a lower level team, and you can see this looks almost like a little too easy for her. These defenders are, I don't know what they're doing, but she should not be able to walk in here. That's not going to happen in the NWSL. It's not going to happen in Champions League play. So I think to some extent, these lower teams in the Dutch league are not really pushing her. And then here we have her in Champions League play, and you're just going to see how handsy she is, right? She's just compensating in this battle. Very lucky not to get called for a yellow there. This one she's marking here, and she's just holding her mark. I'm going to zoom in on it, and you see she's just holding hands with her. That's a smart play, but lucky not to get called for interference. And then this one, sometimes she just, I don't know, like, I don't think that tackle was necessary. It clearly was a terrible tackle. Picks up a yellow there. And then this one here, another yellow. And This was yellow card accumulation for her, which caused her to miss the second Champions League game against Chelsea, which Ajax really truly needed her for. She's very emotional here, clearly upset. And so, this is the thing. A lot of coaches try and take this emotion out of a game. They don't want a player to have these massive ups and downs and express this level of frustration. I don't necessarily believe in that. I think emotion can be really, really helpful as a player and really drive you to accomplish some fantastic things, play some fantastic games, but she needs to control it because at this point you can see, like I said, she's raw. She's raw and she just is not, I don't know, maybe just not ready for that next level. Maybe that's what it is. Next up is another midfielder, Hal Hershfelt, and the reason her call-up is so historic is because she does not have any youth national team experience, and I believe she is the first player in 10 years to get called up to the women's national team without that youth national team experience. The last player to do so, I think, was Shannon Box. So you let me know how you like that comparison. First thing I want to talk about with Hal is ball winning and aggression, because this is just her absolute trademark. Number 17 here. Sorry, I'll start that again. She just gets to loose ball. She's just really aggressive in the midfield and on defense. Really aggressive. To the point where she's going to step in and try win a ball. Even if she doesn't, she's just going to stick to you like glue and absolutely suffocate you. She looks like a real pain in the butt to play against. Very consistent with this on the outside of the box, preventing entry in. Really aggressive here on these. Just such great positioning. It's wild. And she just does the same thing again and again and again. Just absolutely boxing people out. The only downside to this is super aggressive, so sometimes she's just going to foul. She's just going to foul. I think she's going to pick up a bunch of yellow cards because she's just very aggressive and physical, but a real tone setter. Also think she might rival Sonnet for facial expressions because she is just cannot hide stuff. She knows she done effed up. What really sold me on Hershfelt is her positioning. I try not to talk about positioning too much because it can be a little bit tricky to read what is a coach instruction versus what is a player decision, especially when positioning is bad. But Hal Hershfelt has such good positioning. It's just undeniable that she knows what she's doing. Number 17 here, and because Washington has the ball, she's very focused on just making sure that she is a passing option. Everything she's doing right now is just to be a quick little passing option. But behavior changes as soon as the ball turns over. She's going to be very focused once it turns over on the counter press, so suffocating that player there to make sure that they can't easily create an opportunity. Tracks this player until the handoff with the back line. Now she's going to manage the space between these three players. It's just continually updating the instructions. It's so fluid. We lose her for a second, but here she's going to exchange with the back line. Okay, so now she drops in to control this space to prevent entry into the box. She's tracking between these three players, so she understands she has to get in there and block the shooting lane. And this is all happening incredibly quickly. I can't even keep up, right? So 1, 2, 3, she understands any movement from these three players. She may have to change what she's doing. It's just insanely good. And so this is mostly defensive movement. The defensive movement is very, very good. I want to go have a look at another clip after this, which is more attacking focus, but the positioning is so good both ways. So she's here in the midfield, wins that loose ball, helps progress the play up the field, and then this is the read here, seeing that Sar has the ball, knowing that the opportunity to get forward is going to be there. She moves up with Sar taking her spot, continues attacking because she knows that she's taking the attacker's role. It's a good finish. Nothing crazy, but it gets the job done, and that's a goal just because she is in the right position. And this sequence is great. Here she is on defense, making herself available. This pass is incredibly smart. So when she makes this pass to this player here, she knows this girl is going to drop off this way, and she has to immediately create a passing option. So that sprint there is to create that passing option. Really fantastic work. Continues to progress with this play. And the play, this is the same play, continuing the good pass. You see what I mean? I've run out of words, but she knows what she's doing. She has a nose for the open space. The fact that her positioning is this good on the attack, on defense, it's consistently good. It is very impressive. The other thing I caught that really sold me on Hal Hershfelt was her tempo control. It's kind of hard to catch on film, but she pairs this with her positioning in such a nice way. So she's out here. This is going to be a fairly fast progressing chance for Washington Spirit. So using the wings here, connecting with mid-range, long balls, eating up a lot of yardage at a time. And then Bethune here is going to look for an option, sends it off to Hershfelt, who just slows everything down. Slows everything down until she sees folks in position she wants them in. And this, to me, is really why the Spirit have been having so much success right now, is they're striking this wonderful balance between transitional play and possession play. You know, they've got Trinity Rodman, they've got Bethune, they've got Sarr, and they're taking all those long opportunities down the pitch when they see them. But they are assessing things when they get into this attacking third, and they're looking at the options and the matchups that they have, and they're saying, should we slow things down at this point? And someone like Hal Hershfelt is doing that work for them. Hal Hershfelt, Andy Sullivan, I think Kruger to some extent, is giving them the ability to send the ball back and just slow play down until they get the looks that they like. And I mean, it has been working for Spirit. It has been very good. So yeah, I like that a lot more than just blasting it at the net for no reason. And then I also think that Hershfelt can do this the other way around. I do want to pause it here for a minute because just look how beautiful this is from Spirit. You just know a team is well organized and when well coached when you see them naturally falling into these shapes. And so what's happening right now, Chicago's on the attack. They're going to end up getting pretty low with most of their numbers in Spirit's defensive third. And what's going to happen is when we get the ball back is that Hershfelt's going to recognize the opportunity here. So she's over here, just been tracking the play very nicely. Again, making herself available. And I love this. Look what she does. Starts calling to Bethune. She says, go, go, go. You know, so this is it. It's the balance between that long, fast strike and knowing when to play it. And Hershfelt just knows. And the thing that really gets me is Bethune has been astonishing. I am so glad to see her brought into this camp as an alternate. But it really strikes me as like the talented artist and then maybe the behind the scenes person. I think Hershfelt truly does not care what her individual stats are at the end of the season. I think she just wants this team to win. Last but certainly not least, I have Sam Staab, who is a left-footed center back with incredible passing and dribbling. So she's here, number 3 for Chicago. Short passing game is good. It's not hard to have a good short passing game, but hers is very consistent. Where she really shines, though, is the long ball. She has a phenomenal long ball, really accurate, good distance to it, and it just screams Emma Hayes. Another one over here, and this one is going to look very similar to that Lily Yohannes clip we saw where it just drops. There is hardly any bounce on that. It is scary how good it is. And she's got a little bit of a fake too because she's got such great passing. She can scare you with this dribble that just kind of comes out of nowhere. She's very, very comfortable on the dribble and just escapes. It is wild how she just, boop, nuts. Again, good short passing. So the combination of the two makes her really effective, just reads that nicely and gets going. What I really like is because she is so good with her feet, such a good distributor of a ball, she's actually really able to come and help on the attack. And like, this has been a hefty run. She's just getting up there. There is zero hesitation in her mind about getting up there. And she is almost the furthest person to the goal, but really nice, easy recovery, good pace to this jog, just getting back there, and her recovery always looks very, very easy. Because she's so great with her feet, Staab is really able to help on the attack. She takes all the corners for this side from Chicago, and that is quite a well-driven ball. Those certainly aren't easy to head, but good drive, very competitive balls. This one is a free kick. This one's going to have a bit more loft on it, and Chicago doesn't really push hard enough to get on the end of this, but it is a very nice ball. And what I really like, she's very comfortable being this last passing option, so she's really able to keep things going as well, which is great. It really puts Chicago on the attack for a while here and helps them win the free out of that. Now, what really sets her apart, she's got a long throw and a very good, very accurate long throw. It's not like the world's longest throw, but I mean, this is right into the box. And it's not about winning off that throw, it's about the second opportunities that she creates. So that's on her right foot, it's not a strong, but not a terrible ball in by any means. And then just driving to the net here, really nice on the attack. That one is very well placed, potentially could score off that one, but no matter, she's going to stay here, reads the situation nicely. Good move to put this on her preferred left foot, and I do not know how you don't score off that. A great chance. And this one here, they are going to get something out of. Again, it's just the disruption that you're creating by getting the ball into the box so quickly. Really nice, comfortable option at the back here. Great service, and that's how you end up with 2 assists as a center back in the NWSL. It is outstanding. Staab strikes me as a roster selection that is quintessentially Emma Hayes, a center back that's very comfortable attacking, sending long balls. I think the only downside to that is she's not the strongest defender. So I really like how she's holding the line here. This is really great positioning. The only problem is kind of forgets to read the context of the situation, and sure, this player is not your job. It's this player's job, but she's not there, so you gotta step up. And this is something I saw consistently, is she just sometimes struggled to read when to step up. There, she vacates shooting lane, which is, I don't think that's a fantastic read. And the other thing is she's just going to get beat in behind. You know, she's not the fastest player. She knows it. She's going to do a tactical foul occasionally, and it's not like she panics there, but you just have to know what you're getting with her. The other thing that gets me is the back pedal is not pretty at all. She does not look good going backwards. You know, it's very small steps. It doesn't look particularly athletic. So moving backwards, she just does not look great. And again, that's another one where the step is just not the best read. But look, I don't want to make it out like she is the worst defender in the world. The back pedal here is kind of ugly again, but it doesn't really matter because she gets the job done. And this is what gets me. I think she's actually a pretty competent defender all over the pitch. It's just inside the penalty box where she seems to struggle a little bit, unfortunately. This ended up being kind of a quick and dirty film study because I could only watch a few games on each player, but I hope you got a sense for who they are and what they have to offer. I want to throw some predictions out there. I think Hershfelt and Staab will be at home for the Olympics. I say that because I do think they have a ton to offer, but it is really hard to crack that roster this close to the tournament. So I think they'll be back, unless there's an injury to an existing player. I think we'll see him in the future. Now, Johannes, I do think is going to be in Paris. I think she's going to be there as an alternate, but I think I'm picturing this kind of like college recruiting. The Dutch national team has expressed a lot of interest in her. If Emma Hayes sees technical ability and talent that she wants, I think she's going to have to do something to sweeten the deal a little bit, you know, compete with the Dutch. So I think you take her to Paris. I think you show her what this team is like, give her the experience, and then hopefully at the end of that, she's going to come back to you and say, I'm committing to play for the U.S., and we would be very lucky to have her. All right, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.